Hello, Greencastle. My name is Vince Aguirre, and while I have many roles in the community, today I'm here as a citizen, hoping to get to know our local candidates better. Today I have with me Amanda Brown, who's running for County Council here in Putnam County, and I'm really excited to get to know her better. How are you?
I am great. It's
Good.
a non-rainy, chilly day. It's wonderful for summer.
Yeah, this worked out so well.
I know.
So well, and it was so cold this weekend.
It was. We had baseball games all weekend, so
Yeah.
that was an adventure.
Oh, yeah. I've never been good at baseball, mostly because I was kind of afraid of the ball, but also
Yeah.
when you get that good hit and it just rings through your body.
Yep.
I can't imagine that in the cold.
I am a basketball person
Okay.
and a runner.
Okay.
So that's baseball's my husband's thing.
Okay.
It's definitely not my thing.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, hopefully it was a good weekend of cold baseball.
Not for my son, but we had fun. I was in a blanket, so.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
So I didn't realize 6U was such a serious thing. So we practice like twice a week and have 2 games a week.
That's incredible and intimidating.
Yep. So he's surviving. So it's definitely not T-ball this year.
Jeez. Actually, I'm surprised we put the T-ball away. Our 2-year-old loves to hit it. He's
Yeah.
questionably good.
Yeah.
Sometimes he gets it, but
That's what my daughter is very aggressive with baseball.
Yeah.
So we decided to put her in tumbling just to be safe.
that's smart.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Uh,
Very nice. Well, I'm happy you're here. I'd like to start these with kind of a chance for you to go back as far as you want into childhood and kind of talk about who you are from wherever you start until today.
Okay, well, I was born at Putnam County Hospital when we used to have babies there. So it's been a while. We don't need to talk about that. I went to Cloverdale schools for most of my schooling, but then I ended up transferring to Greencastle, graduated from there, was into sports like cheerleading, basketball, things like that. But then it kind of shifted to I like to work. So I switched to the working, and my first job was actually DePaul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
What'd you do there?
whatever they told me to do. At the time, we didn't really have positions. So I did catering, and then I did waitressing and Starbucks before it was actually Starbucks. So they told me where to go, and I showed up. So late nights, early mornings, yeah. I have worked in the courthouse. I have worked, because I worked for the government doing 911. I worked in the prosecutor's office. I went to ISU, Ivy Tech. I'm in grad school, so that's a different thing.
What are you studying?
Social work.
Okay.
So I will actually be done with that soon. And then I currently am a consultant for the state. So basically, I've been here my whole life, born and raised. I have 2 kids, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, a boy and a girl. My son is very loving and sweet. My daughter, she is our little wild child. We'll just say that. My husband had the misconception that girls are easier.
They say that. They do say that.
That's not true. No, she's just it's very fun. It's always an adventure, as I'm sure you know. But yeah, that's it. I met my husband over 8 years ago. He's a city police officer, and just kind of he implanted here. Don't judge him. But yeah, just raising our family here and working and sports, and I do a lot with the FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police, organizing all of their events. Like the current thing I'm working on is Shop with a Cop for school supplies, and then we have our color run coming up again.
Nice.
Which that was vital. You were
Yeah,
actually there last year.
I did go last year.
Yeah.
Although I didn't run, I rode my
You
bike.
biked, but
I was there.
you were very vital because our DJ, I remember, would not turn down the music, so I made you go back there because you were quicker than me.
That is fair. I did. Yep. Yeah. I wanted to run. I don't think I could get my son in a stroller that day.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't get in it, and I was like, all right, I guess we'll just ride the bike over and go support.
That's what my kids actually, my daughter passed out. My son was awake for the whole thing. So he was covered and she was passed out in the stroller. And it was funny because all around the stroller was covered, but she was still clean. So she was just like, I remember they crossed the line in the picture. She's just like passed out. Yeah. So it was pretty funny.
That's awesome. That was such a great event. Oh shoot! I was thinking of something, and then you got me with the color run. I was going to ask a follow-up question there. Oh, so you said not to judge your husband. I may be a little biased because I did choose to live here. I was not born here.
Yes.
But I think there's something to be said about choosing to live here rather than just I was born here, so
Yep.
I'm still here. So I give him credit for choosing you and here and
Yep,
and
it's
being
the
here.
small town vibe. That's what we were when we actually went to the funeral of the fallen officer yesterday. It was interesting. As we're walking by, people are like, "Oh, that's Luke Brown. That's Luke Brown," and we're very close with his old mentor Charlie Hallam, who was in Cloverdale for 20 plus years. And it was just interesting. I said, "You don't have that in big communities," because he's from the Southern Terre Haute area. So that they do not have that close knit. So that's what I told him. I said, that's what's different about here is because I'll have people come up to me and they know me by name and they're like, how's your dad? How's your brother? And half the time I'm like, wait, who was that again?
Yep.
So yep, it's that small town feel, and it's like the businesses and everything. So we had talked about moving, and then we started laughing and we're like, yeah, we know we're never gonna move. We just remodeled our bathroom. We're pretty much staying forever
set.
now.
You're
Yeah.
set. We there's that threshold where you've been involved enough and you've lived here long enough that you get sucked in. You realize how great it is.
Exactly.
And you're here.
And it's
You're
funny
here.
because when you're younger, you're like, I'm going to go to the city and I'm going to do this and that. And then you're like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not. I'm happy. So.
I grew up in the city in Chicago, and I never thought growing up I'd ever move out of a city. And here I am, still in a city, but a very small city.
Small city.
Technically a city, though.
We are, which is
Yep.
surprising to a lot.
Yeah. While Avon and Plainfield are towns.
I know.
It's a funny dynamic. Anyway, we're not here about the city. We're here about the county.
Yeah,
What
yes.
inspired you to run for office?
So I was not a born politician. I will tell you that. I was just sitting there, and my husband and we kept having these conversations, and we're like, I don't like that. I don't like what this is doing. I don't agree with that. And we just found ourselves routinely having these conversations. So I was like, but how do we make a change? How do we make a difference? So then I was like, okay, well, I guess that's it. I'm running. And so obviously I have a great support system with my husband and family and everything like that. My children, they have no idea what's going on. They think it's funny that they see my signs out, so they have to take pictures with every sign that we see. But it was just one of those things that until you actually step in and be the voice, you can't make a change. So instead of sitting there grumbling and complaining, I was like, well, I guess I'll put my name in there, and here we go.
Yeah, that's
And then it
awesome.
has just been a fast track race, I feel like, since then.
I bet, especially in running in a contested primary.
Yes.
It's not like you have all year to kind of campaign. Like you're just going. What's that been like?
It has been an adventure. I have met a lot of people, which has been really cool. Participated in a lot of different things, like the Lincoln Day dinner was something I had never been a part of before, and it was really neat. But it's nice just being involved in the community. I've been involved before, but it's funny because it's like I'm not just that random person helping out. Now people are realizing who I am. So it's been fun. So like this weekend I'm going to the Cloverdale Fire. I love going to the Cloverdale Fire breakfast because my kids get to see fire trucks. And even though my husband is a police officer, my son loves fire trucks.
It's hard not to love.
I know. So that will be our plans. And it's just nice because they're like so excited. They're like, now we have somebody like campaigning. And I'm like, well, it's not really the focus, but okay. So.
I go to the Reelsville Fire Breakfast. My in-laws live right down the road, and I love it. So I imagine Cloverdale is similar and such a good experience, the community.
Oh, yeah. We went to Fillmore's last weekend, but they do theirs monthly, which is a little bit different. I know Cloverdale's is not monthly. They just do like a real big blowout. But every year I've kind of made, like for the last couple of years, I've made desserts. And because I bake on the side, and so I gave them desserts and then they sell them.
That's awesome.
So I will be making my same desserts this week, and I will be dropping them off for them to sell.
That's awesome.
I know. Apparently they're a hot commodity. I heard the sheriff bought some last year.
Fair enough. That's how you know if the sheriff's buying them, you've won.
Yeah, that's why I was like, hey, I'll take it.
That's awesome. You said you kept finding yourself identifying things that you were struggling with or thought that you'd want to do differently. Are there any that you want to share anything that's kind of specific to your focus and your passion if you were to be elected?
I think a big thing for me is transparency. There is a lot, like even down to like here in town, there were so many people upset about the construction. Like we knew it was coming, but we didn't know when it was coming specifically. And there was a lot of people, like I think Friday at lunch, things changed, which it impacts a lot of people. Even for me, yes, I live in the city, but you know, I work all over, so it's hard for me taking all these detours, and I can't imagine what the businesses are going through. But I think it's just the transparency. There's been times like I've been sick or I've been at work late and I haven't been able to attend the council meetings. So I think like live streaming that or at least recording it for people, that would be very beneficial. And then just kind of that ease of access, like creating a better website. It's very hard to navigate our website, but just kind of updating things and getting them to more of a common age. That's been huge for me. That's why I always say freshen it up. We are in a very social media driven age, so I think it's important to get that social media presence, because I talked about even doing like in these times of construction, we need it has to be done, but do like a small business spotlight and say like, hey, have you thought about this? And maybe that small business spotlight, they could say, oh, if you mention this, you get 10% off, or just something small, like just getting that word out there. I know there's an ice cream place on Square Scoops. We go to it all the time. That is the place to go.
I was there yesterday.
My son was freezing cold Friday, but we still went after baseball. And just going in there, it's usually lined out the door, and it was not. And they said, a lot of people, by the time they have to loop around, they're just not coming, and it's just heartbreaking. So, it's happening everywhere. Construction is not just in Greencastle, it's all the way. So that's kind of the main things for me. I think the logistics of the different budget things and everything, that's going to definitely come, but it's more one of those you have to get in the door before you can really say much to that.
Right. That's fair. So I want to recap and tell me if I'm off base. I hear new ideas, modernizing the way we communicate, and transparency.
Yes.
Are those some core?
Those are huge for me.
I like
huge.
those.
Thank you.
I like those. So what you're saying is when you're elected, you'll do all kinds of new videos and promotions. And
I actually do them on my campaign Facebook page right now, because it was funny. Everybody laughed on my last one because if you didn't watch the video, it looks very hilarious because it says, "Let me be your coffee bean." And it was the story about the potatoes and the eggs and the coffee bean, and they hit the same, or they have the same adversity, yet they come out different. And I was like, let me be your coffee bean because I want to change my surroundings and make something new. But it's so funny because if you don't watch the video, it's like, this lady's crazy. She says, I want to be your coffee bean. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, that I have done a couple of videos. I do like that. I have to do a lot of videos and like podcasty things for work. So, but those get a huge positive impact. So I definitely think it's worth it.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if this makes me a good interviewer or a bad interviewer, but I try not to learn much about people before I go into it, so I can like just take the conversation wherever it goes. But I did, when I was reaching out to you, see that you quote Dr. Seuss a lot.
I do. I love Dr. Seuss. Because that was a huge thing when I talked to the Banner Graphic and they're like, hey, like we'll do a bio on you. And I was like, I really want to put something impactful at the end. And my husband's like, oh, like what? And I'm like Dr. Seuss. And he's like, Dr. Seuss. So and I was like, because it's very true. Like, we're trying to teach these positive things to our children and nobody thinks about Dr. Seuss, but Dr. Seuss even though it's a little crazy, like the thoughts are there. And it was talking about how, unless you care a whole lot, nothing's going to change. It's not. And so that was a huge sign off for me. So I've kind of just been saying that on different things and everything. But yes, I love Dr.
That's
Seuss.
Awesome. I know it stands out. It's memorable too.
Yeah, it is. I was like, and it's like saying like the freshen up, and they were giving, some of the other people running were giving me a hard time. I was like, it's not an old joke. It's just saying like it's time to modernize. Anybody can modernize.
Yeah, true. I know some very cutting edge people who are retirement age. And some young people who don't even want to use a computer. So I get it.
I know. And that's why I say things are changing. Even for me, I grew up in the dial up and the smack your computer box when it wasn't working.
Hang up the phone. I'm on the internet.
Yeah, Mom, come on.
Yep. Yep. I was in there a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, that's awesome. I want to shift a little.
Ooh, shift away.
In all of my conversations, I try to give something to the viewer
Mm-hmm.
that they can take back. Like, wow, I didn't expect to learn that, but that was great. And the question is, and in your case, you're running in the county, so what are some hidden gems in the county?
Okay, so that's a hard one, but I will say, so I grew up in Cloverdale.
Mhm.
So the Pizza Niche, which is now renamed, that is Main Street Cloverdale. They have some of the best pizza.
I
And
keep hearing that. I need to try it.
it is so good. And it was always like the fine ground sausage and stuff like that. So that, that and the crust and the sauce really made it. And then they actually just opened a coffee shop down there. So it is conveniently right across from the police department. I mean, it's very, very great planning. I'm just saying.
Seriously.
So, yeah. So I would say those are really good. And then the barbecue places up north.
Yeah.
I am a foodie.
Mm-hmm.
I like food.
Me too. Me too. We should have done this at a restaurant.
I know. Well, that's what I was sitting there thinking, like, where can we go?
Yes.
But yes, definitely the barbecue places, right, Main Street in Bainbridge. And then there's just a lot. There's hidden gems everywhere. It's just a matter of getting out and trying something different.
Absolutely.
So.
You just encouraged me to try. I haven't tried any of those. And Pizza Niche, I've been told about for years, and I need to do it. A couple years ago on my personal Facebook, I made this it was kind of a joke, but it was my ranking of the top 10 pizzas, I think, in the area. And people kept commenting, you need to add them, you need to add them.
Yeah.
That was very controversial. If you want to get a lot of engagement on your Facebook page, rank pizza places.
Or pineapple on pizza. Whew.
How do you?
It'll spiral fast.
How do you feel?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not going to order it.
Okay.
But I'm not going to turn down free pizza.
Okay.
So if
respect that.
if there's pineapple on it,
Yeah.
I'm going to eat. That's what I
Yeah.
always laugh when I go to people's houses. If they're offering me food, I'm going to eat it.
Right.
Like, even if I don't like it, like, I like food. So I'm going to eat it.
See, I'm a Hawaiian pizza fan.
So
I love it.
and that's fine. And that's why it's just not, I'm more of like a buffalo chicken
Okay.
or barbecue chicken.
Okay.
So, but if there's
Yeah.
pineapple, I'm going to eat it.
I had Monocle's barbecue chicken last night.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Yes. I
Highly
like their
recommend.
breadsticks.
Yeah, we were craving salad. So we with Monocle's, obviously. We need their salad.
You
Let's
know,
go.
Moore's Bar has very, very good food. I like their taco salad. I would go on when I worked at the courthouse on Thursdays was taco salad day. But now we have the Myers Market grill outs on Thursdays.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's hard not to go to that.
yeah, I like grilled food.
The seafood. This is now a food blog.
I know. This is join us for
We're gonna have to do
all
this
recommendations
regularly.
of food. Yeah.
The seafood dip at Moore's is one of my favorites. But no
Yes.
one else will eat it with me.
I
And
have-
the tater kegs, I think they're called. Really good.
Yes.
Really good.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk food all day.
Yep. So for the next episode, we'll have to do this. Maybe after the election, when you're in
Absolutely.
office, we can do like a regular monthly
Yeah, monthly food check-in.
food check-in. No, that might work.
We do a lot of traveling. My husband and I make it a point that every time we go out, we go somewhere new.
Yeah.
So we have we go to all the different places, like the burger places, like Tap House was a big one for us, just for the burgers. We like to travel around and make sure we go everywhere. Because there's like places like the Fluttering Duck, their food is so
And
good.
the patio.
Yeah, and that's and it's like we've got it down so like when we know good times to go, like when DePaul has like big events going, we go during the event, so we're like that prime seating.
right before.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We are
That's great.
definitely locals.
Yep. This is. I think we're becoming friends.
Yeah, I love food.
We'll have to set the kids up for a play date. Bring the family.
Yes.
Okay, so I can talk about food forever. So I'm gonna force us to move on because I haven't even eaten lunch yet.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
This is a problem. But when you look forward, I like to think if you're running, you have to be optimistic and in some capacity picturing the day you win, right? And maybe you're preparing for the worst and the best. Everyone handles it differently. But looking towards that day, what's one thing that excites you the most and one thing that you might be concerned about or knowing can be a challenge?
So there's going to be a lot of challenges. I tend to be one of those people that I try not to get my hopes up, but everybody's always hopeful. So there's still going to be that level of disappointment if you don't win. But I think for me, the excitement is going to be like my thoughts and viewpoints. I related to so many people. They were able to see me. I am not like I've talked about, I'm not a scripted person. I am pretty much a this is what you get type of person. I am very honest, but I have no issues fighting for what I believe in. So I think it's just one of those that if people relate to me and I get those votes, I think it's going to be very big for me to know that I have built that relationship with the community I live in. And it's just going from there. So
That's
they
great.
agree.
Yeah. I don't know how good these mics are going to be. If you can't hear us, there's dogs surrounding us in every direction.
And they love me.
And they are going crazy right now. The whole neighborhood is supporting this interview. Hopefully the mics are doing their job, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm trying to, I think that's, what haven't I asked you that you want to share with anyone watching this?
There's not too much really. It's just I am born and bred Putnam County, and I'm raising my family here. My family still lives in the same house that I grew up in, and I think it's just really important to know like what I want is what's best for this community. It's not that I'm completely against or for anything, but it has to be what's best for this community. So I think that's really it. I don't have anything in particular. I'm pretty much an open book. If people need me, they can find me. I am pretty easy to talk to, so I have no issues. I've stayed after. I've got requests for people to like kind of staff issues with me, and I have no problems doing that.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
That's about it.
Awesome. Well, the last thing I like to do is let people look. In this case, we have 2 cameras now. So have you look right into that camera and make your pitch. If you were standing in front of a captive audience, talk about who you are, what you want to do, and how people can reach you. And then we'll end the interview there.
Okay, so I'm Amanda Brown. I am running for County Council in Putnam County, and I would love to have your vote now through May 7th. And the reason why is I just believe in transparency and honesty, and I think it's time to modernize things and just freshen up the council a little bit. Some changes need to happen, and I want to be that advocate and the voice. And yeah, like I said, born and bred here, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. This is my home, so I'm definitely going to do what's best for it.
Perfect. And how can people reach you?
Oh, yes. People can reach me. The easiest way is through Facebook because I have my phone on me all the time. My Facebook is Amanda Lynn. I do have a Amanda Brown for County Council. That is going to be the easiest way to get a hold of me just with work and regular life. I always have Facebook up and open. Nice. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me in this oasis of dog barks. We'll have to get a lunch on the schedule at some point. And yeah, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.